Thank you for the kind words and a little bit of roasting there. I greatly appreciate you presiding over the ceremony. You've been a boss, a sea daddy, and a dear friend and a mentor to both my family and me. Bottom line, I couldn't let this opportunity pass me by. So thanks again. Good morning, all. It's great to be with you all today. I'll start by welcoming everybody. As I look across the audience, it's quite humbling. I welcome the many distinguished guests, family members, friends, teammates who are here with me this morning. I especially welcome our generals and our admirals, our past and present COs, CMCs, and sergeant majors. I have a dear friend here with me, a retired Port Authority detective and Medal of Honor recipient, Thomas McHale. You can't ask him about the gunfight, but you can ask him where he had the best cup of espresso, and he'll tell you. Lieutenant Rich Hampton, also Collier County Sheriff's Office, our Gold Star family members that are with us today, Jennifer and Scott Bill, Sandra Wertz, Lieutenant Colonel retired Jack, and Emily Veeks, Owens, and bottom line, it's great. It's great to see all of you here today. I also extend my deep appreciation for all those who contributed so much to today's ceremony. It all came together right at the last moment. Thanks, Gons. Thanks, Joe. The Navy Band, awesome. Great rendition of the national anthem and Old Glory. Like I said, that was phenomenal, man. Believe it or not, I did want to make this a frogman style gathering. A subdued ceremony, low on pomp, no drama, and fanfare. We came close. That said, I know what Scotty Wertz would say. He would say, when in doubt, overload. So we did. When I scheduled this ceremony, I wanted to do it on my terms. I intended this ceremony to be my opportunity to say thank you, to pay tribute to Naval Special Warfare Command and tribute to Special Operations Command, both commands that have been so important to me in my life and continue to serve this nation so magnificently. Over the past couple of weeks, I've had some time to reflect on the long, rich history that I came to be a part of. And like most Navy SEALs, it began with the infamous Bud's Grinder, a rectangular piece of pavement where Bud's candidates do hours of physical training. Lots of blood, sweat, tears, calluses, chafe, and raspberries. We all call them grinder reminders, all of which are very fond memories of mine. Today I have several Bud's classmates with me that came and traveled. Alden Mills, Andy Jones, Dave Hensley, Kirk Fuse. Thanks again for traveling. It's great to have you here. Over the years, our training and our capabilities have been modernized, but the cloth from which our men are cut has remained unchanged. It's worth taking a moment to remember some of our rich heritage from which the Brotherhood has evolved. Starting with the amphibious scouts and raiders of World War II, the Naval Combat Demolition Units, MacArthur's Frogmen, UDTs, and the Navy SEALs. Navy SEALs are the finest maritime soldiers in the world. What makes us who we are is our agility, our lethality when required, our speed, our innovation, and our wisdom. We value knowledge over doctrine, proficiency over mere qualification, experience over theory. And if we've learned anything from studying war, men fight for the men beside them, and they fight to represent a greater cause. So what we have mostly is each other to count on. We like to read Karl von Clausewitz and sip on horse shoulder whiskey. Actually, we don't like to read Karl von Clausewitz, but we do like to drink whiskey. We're a community of self-starters, critical thinkers, Imagineers, problem solvers, aggressive leaders, teammates to whom we can and often do trust with our lives. Navy SEALs are given the toughest missions because we've earned the nation's trust, and the nation knows that the SEAL teams will accomplish the mission. We operate from some of the smallest detachments in the most remote places to large special operations task forces on key pieces of terrain. We operate in the coldest, deepest, darkest waters, on the most forbidding deserts, atop of the most rugged mountains on Earth, places that only true warriors and teammates feel at home. We span the technology spectrum from basic map, compass, knife and gun, to the most sophisticated navigation and communication and surface and undersea systems in existence. For the past 2 decades, most of our deployments have been to combat zones, and much of the time, it has been in the highly volatile, uncertain, complex, fast-paced counterterrorism operations, or enduring local security force activities, or building host nation capacity, as well as niche surface and undersea operations. And I'm talking about strategic reconnaissance, operations that maybe, just maybe, a handful of people in the United States government even know about. Like our other special ops brethren, our innovative planning, our careful preparation, thorough rehearsals, proven abilities to arrive unexpectedly, to shoot, move, communicate, to accurately identify and capture or kill those who plan to do us harm, to take precise action when required, to inspire our counterparts, to mentor their elders, to organize a community, to recover and deliver payloads on the surface or undersea, to enable partners with ISR fires and medical capability so that they can take back their cities, liberate key terrain, and triage their soldiers. All of that makes them a high-demand, low-density force. And their raw courage and ferocious determination under fire is nothing short of impressive. The sacrifices they accomplish to accomplish their mission, to save each other, the rate and pace at which they return to duty after being wounded, their never-ending embrace of the families of the fallen. It reminds me of stories of the Spartans, but only better. And that's what makes them legendary. To be part of that rich history and heritage of naval special warfare is truly a privilege. It's also an incredible honor to be part of SOCOM. Born from the ashes of Desert One, Operation Eagle Call, the failed mission of the Iranian hostage crisis, and legislative created by Congress. It was that vision and support, coupled with technological innovation, interagency collaboration, and raw talent from our operators, our staff officers, our logisticians, that has created the best trained, organized, and equipped special operations capability that the world has ever seen. SOCOM has had a great deal of battlefield success in the last 2 decades. From the shadows of the Hindu Kush to the streets of Baghdad and many other places, our special operators have literally changed the face of modern warfare. However, our ability to succeed was forged by adversity over those 37 years, including operations in Kuwait, Panama, Somalia, Balkans, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, Pakistan, and so on. Undoubtedly, we have learned the valuable lessons from the past, and those lessons define who we are today. What I thoroughly enjoy about SOCOM is our strength lies in the larger team concept. The jointness of our services, Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines all working together. And I must be honest with you, our jointness, our oneness, and our unity is never more apparent than when we lose a fallen comrade. If you ever had the opportunity to participate in a ramp ceremony, you would know this. A ramp ceremony is part of a dignified return where we render honors to our fallen heroes, regardless of their unit affiliation. Unfortunately, I've attended more than my fair share of ramp ceremonies. U.S. and allied forces, along with our interagency partners, typically line the tarmac at night and display a unity reverence and respect. On one particular night, Special Forces lined the tarmac at Loudon Air Force Base. There were patches from almost every unit in SOF. The scroll of the Ranger Regiment, the long tab of the Special Forces officer and airman and NCO, our SOF airmen, the wings of the SOF airmen, and our globe and anchor of the Marines and the SEAL Trident. But while each uniform is different, there was one symbol on that uniform that were all the same. It was the American flag. The same flag that draped over the remains of our fallen hero. At SOCOM, we are proud of our units. We are honored to be soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and the greatest military in the world. And while it is our service that gives us our heritage and strength, it is our responsibility to the American people that gives us our purpose. We know the American people have an expectation that we must uphold. The American people expect us to move further, faster, fight harder than any other soldier. The American people expect us to be there first, so others may live. The American people expect us to free the oppressed, to always be faithful, and always be forward to serve with honor on and off the battlefield. Our military is the best in the world because the men are steeped in the heritage of their service, because they are bonded by a common purpose, inspired by a nation, and are willing to fight and die for the American people they love so very much. While I'll save you from all the details of a 32-year career that has been filled with focus, purpose, energy, talent, tenacity, courage, victories, celebrations, mornings, missed birthdays, missed graduations, missed anniversaries, and countless moves, I'll briefly touch on a couple of my tours. My CO tours at SEAL Team 7 when I was dual-hatted as Special Operations Task Force West and Commander Task Force CTS in 2017, and then Regional Task Force Afghanistan 2013 and 14 are by far my most rewarding and challenging tours today. In my opinion, there is nothing like leading men in combat. It's the authority, responsibility, and accountability are all the three essential principles of command, and the buck stops with you. You're making the calls. I'll be happy to tell you a bunch of sea stories later today, maybe even the one where I enjoyed a cup of espresso with Tom. And like most sea stories, I'm not going to let the truth stand in my way of a good story. As for SOCOM, as my first tour at SOCOM, I was on the ground floor for pressure/preservation of the force and families. I spent close to 2 years in the Commander's Action Group, working directly for Admiral Olson and Admiral McCraven. To keep things short, we found that an interdisciplinary team consisting of strength trainers, physical therapists, psychologists, financial advisors, chaplains, nutritionists, and pilot programs can provide a seamless line of support for our families. Units utilizing that approach were experiencing lower levels of behavioral issues, faster injury recovery times, and as the lead for that project, I wrote the requirements document. And sort of think of that as my thesis while I was at SOCOM the first time. And I played a key role in implementing that. And additionally, that same tour, the J8 called me back. He said, "You've had Malloy for 2 years at the Commander's Action Group. He needs to come back." So I was given an incredible opportunity to balance the SOCOM budget. To put things in perspective, since 9/11, the size of our force has doubled. Our budget has tripled, and the size of our force has doubled. With a budget of $10.5 billion, these are FY12 numbers, SOCOM comprises 1.6 of the total proposed DoD budget, I think you'd be hard-pressed to come up with a better, greater return on your investment as it relates to successfully achieving the required effects on the battlefield. As the lead action officer for the assessment directors, balancing the budget was a colossal effort, but we got her done. And I love that part, the POTUF, and I love being a frogman that the admirals could bounce ideas off. So here are a few words of wisdom from a guy that's been around the block. Winning isn't a sometimes thing, it's an all the time thing. You don't do things right once in a while, you do them right all the time. Winning is a habit, but so is losing. In the SEAL teams, we learn to win through failure. You must learn to fail and fail often. Why? Because nothing quite hardens you for battle like failure. If you don't fail, if you haven't tested yourself if you don't fail, then you probably haven't tested yourself or your men and women. Org charts have faces, personalities, and concerns. Take time to get to know them. Stay with the number one rule: people are more important than hardware. Grow them, equip them, and empower them. In battle, over-communicate to push situational awareness up and down and across the chain. It'll save lives and keep your boss out of your Wheaties. In the absence of orders or direction on the battlefield, take charge, make decisions. As long as your decisions are legal, ethical, and moral, your superiors will always have your back. I know I would. Credibility is your freedom of action. Put your commander in his comfort zone, and your credibility will rise. As leaders, are you listening or are you just waiting to talk? Learn to be a good listener. Trust your people, trust but verify, I should say. And give your men and women a second chance when they make a mistake, specifically if it's not a significant violation of integrity or character. And I promise you, they will turn out to be some of your best leaders. As leaders, it's all right to say I don't know, but you better be working hard to stay informed. And you do that by asking questions and doing your homework. Don't be the senior man with a secret. Remember, bad news doesn't get better with time. That one almost got me. When trying to solve complex problems, build a good cross-functional team. You'll know when you have it right because you'll be solving problems and producing results greater than the sum of your parts. My secret recipe to success has revolved around 5 things. Solve problems for people below you. Produce results for people above you. That also means solving problems. If you decide to go in, go all in. Make sure you leave it better than when you found it. And for God's sake, people, have some fun while you're doing it all. Now I'll wrap this up by saying thank you to a few folks that have helped me get to where I am today. I'll start with my parents. Thank you for instilling me in the values that made me the man I am today. Now, I know Pop is not here, but I have a few words for him because we're recording. Letting the kids watch Poltergeist, Jaws, and Goodfellas at the age of 3, 7, and 9 was not a good idea. I think Anaconda was in there too. It took Susie and I close to a year to get them back in the water and to go to bed by themselves. They didn't want to go. It took 6 months for them to stop quoting lines of Goodfellas. Regardless, his support was awesome. He once told me that, he's like, I'll fully support you, Ron, going to SEAL training. And he's like, you do know that those guys swim a lot. I said, yes, Pop, I do know that. He's like, yeah, but you don't swim. Regardless, his support and love over the years has been unyielding. Thanks, Pop, for everything. As you know, the kids turned out just fine. Mom, your kindness, understanding, and love are unfaltering. I'm extremely grateful for that. Thank you for your advice and your drive. To keep things in perspective, she earned a PhD at 70, CNO and Manatee General, and taught at Kaiser University until 78. Not too shabby. To my brother Chris and Uncle Fred who couldn't be with us, know that you were truly like father figures and grandfather figures for my kids when I was deployed. Thank you. Here with me today are some of my best friends from high school and home. Davey C, John, Jimmy, Scott, Pete, Brooks, Tony. Thank you for all coming. We had a great time last night. And we're gonna have a great time tonight too. I can also say, you know, they've been a phenomenal support network, but I also have a Tampa network, and that would be John Doolittle, Drake, Bill, Rizzy, Ty, Clay, Tony, Luke, Gov, Brian. You've all been the best support network for me. Driving me to radiation appointments, being all around good friends, getting me off the couch when I wanted to have a pity party because I was left unmotivated or depressed. They took me out for swims and rides and trigger therapy and buckets and grouper sandwiches. It made the day. And thank you again for taking care of the meals, especially when Susie had her crazy cat bites. And then all the good times on Denton's Island. Phenomenal. Also, a quick shout out to my physical therapists, Jim, Mark, and Lindsay. Damn, you had your hands full. I can't thank you guys enough. The treatments, I listen to these treatments, they're worse than waterboarding. The shocker, the red light, cupping, harassing, flossing, traction, crack and stack, dry needling. I mean, give me a break. I'm still bruised right now. It's gonna take me like 10 PTs to just get the same service that I'm getting from you guys. To my chiefs and master chiefs, icons within the community that I've served with, like Leif Patella, Danny Marshall, Todd Roth, Jeff Peeler, Pete Musselman, Wally Walters, Steve White, Thad Morrison, Danny Nesbitt, Sean Dittmeyer, Andy Jones, Chris Goode, and Matt Heineman. Undoubtedly, my chiefs showed me the right way to do things. Always take the high ground. Never give up security. Always be prepared for a gunfight. And if you must fight, never, ever fight fair. And most importantly, always take care of your men. And don't pretend, because they'll sniff that bullshit out. If they believe in you, they will do whatever you tell them to do without hesitation. And that will help you win gunfights. Wow, I'm not sure what else to say to my chiefs. Thanks for all your candid feedback and advice and mentorship and leadership. Matt, Toad, Jeff, you were right. Hard men need hard feedback. They actually do thrive on discipline. To my peers, commodores, admirals, generals, that had a direct impact on my career. To just name a few: Tom Catana, Tim Bosilovac, Travis Schwadron, Todd Freischlag, Bill Denton, Ken Parrell, John Doolittle, Drummond Board, Rob Connell, Marv McGuire, Mike Wisecup, Rear Admiral Metz and Richards, and Major General Nagata, and Admiral Pybus Szymanski, and Lieutenant General Howard, Votel, Olson, Admiral Olson, and Admiral Craven. What a privilege it was to serve with you and under you. To my current ops division, the team accomplished much, and I was very fortunate to have a group of dedicated professionals that stood to watch, rode hard, knocked down targets, triaged countless RFIs, generated info papers like nobody's business. Our successes were many, even if it was a gem within a gem for Gem Pellerini, to B2 to C4. I mean Jim. Anyway, if there was a new way to define OpCon or depict Comrel diagrams, we had our hands full there. The bullpen was worse than a torrid love affair, the Wildcats roared, or if it was the sync matrix that was thrown off by the thunder, unheard of. In the end, I think the perfect facilitator got off easy compared to me. And Galactic Horizon was way better than Star Wars. Those poor bastards should have taken camels instead of R2-D2. Yes, I am talking in a little code. Most of you don't know it, but my team knows it. On a serious note, we expertly executed and defended 3 large big pots of money. We solved countless routine and complex problems, kept the commander informed, enabling him to make decisions. And a special shout out for some of my unsung heroes, my outstanding civilians for their continuity, wealth of experience, knowledge, and expertise. My right-hand man, my deputy, Lou. Couldn't have done it without you, Lou. JB, George, Rob, D2, Pat, Scott, Fish, Rez, Sherry, Monica, Pete, Don, Troy, Dwight, Mark, and thank you. Bravo Zulu to you guys. You kicked ass. In the end, we leveled lots of bubbles, met lots of triggers, pulled lots of strings, juggled lots of balls, never dropping the glass ones, not even during COVID. We were always ready to turn on a dime, spring from our tiger's crouch, or strike from our cobra's coil. You did all that and much, much more just so we could fight another day in the J-33 trenches. I truly appreciate your stellar efforts, close working relationships, and team dynamics. It made almost every day enjoyable, almost. Thank you. And the best for last. To Susie's parents, Tom and Teresa, who are no longer with us. If you were here today, I would thank you. I would thank you for raising the most important person in my life. Your daughter, Susie, my rock, my confidant, my best friend. She's also my worst enemy. She knows all my She's a fantastic wife, and as she said, we're coming up on 30 years. Who said you can't stay happily married in the SEAL teams? Now, her strength, her courage, her faithfulness are amazing. Your love is unmatched. Your selfless support to me and service to the commands where I've been stationed is truly inspiring. Absolutely appreciated and noticed by all. You've done a tremendous job raising our children, who are all now adults. Without your heroic sacrifices, I would not be standing here, and your children wouldn't be as successful. For my children, you've made us proud parents. Ron Jr., when you decided to join the Air Force, I was incredibly proud. You were following in the footsteps of service, but certainly not my shadow. I never dreamt you would be a pilot. You and Aaron are an amazing duo and are giving us the most wonderful new title of grandparents. Your mother and I are incredibly proud of you both, and although you're grounded by an anchor from the Navy, the Air Force did give you your wings. Be safe, my son, as you proudly serve. Tom, if there was a hard path to success, you certainly traveled it. Adversity met its match when it met you. I'm proud of the time in your service. I'm proud of the man you've become. And I'm proud that you took your love for the outdoors and your God-given book smarts and turned it into an amazing career in real estate development. You and Aaron you both bring us so much joy. Yes, I said that Aaron too. Tom's Aaron. I look forward to a remarkable legacy you're gonna build and leave in the Tampa Bay area. Maggie May, my princess, and my favorite daughter. I always knew from the moment you were born that you had a steadfast and true heart. Your moral compass is strong. You were mom's only child when the boys went to college. I know that couldn't have been easy. The high beams, the high beams were no longer on the boys, they were on us. You're still my princess. Congrats on passing your nursing clinical exams. As a nurse, you have chosen a career in service to others. We are so proud of you. We look forward to watching you shine as a nurse. It's been a good long run, but I need to go before I become the example of why someone shouldn't stay on the podium too long. I thank all those that have served and those serving. You make it possible for me to leave without either sadness or regret. I'm not retiring from military service today, but I will soon. And when that day comes, I will depart wishing I could start it all over again. And for the SEALs in the audience, we should never forget our humble beginnings. Frogmen wearing nothing but a pair of UDT shorts to protect what's most important. Our nation, of course. Thank you. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America.